The old house stood on a hill overlooking the town. It was a grand Victorian mansion with turrets and gables and a wide wraparound porch. Lucy had inherited the house from her great-aunt. She had always loved the house as a child. Now it was hers. Lucy moved into the house in the summer. It was quiet then, peaceful. She spent her days exploring the house, unpacking boxes and hanging pictures. She felt happy at home. The first few weeks in the house were uneventful. Lucy settled into a routine. She woke up early, made breakfast and then worked in her study. In the evenings she read or watched television. Everything was fine, normal. But as the days turned into weeks, Lucy started to notice things. Little things at first. A floorboard creaking when no one was around. The sound of footsteps in the hallway, a cold spot in the living room. One night, Lucy was awakened by a sound, a soft tapping coming from the walls. It was faint but persistent, like someone or something was trying to get her attention. Lucy sat up in bed, listening intently. Her heart pounded in her chest. The tapping continued for a while, then stopped. Lucy lay awake for a long time, listening, but the sound didn't return. By morning, she had convinced herself it was just her imagination, an old house settling, nothing to be concerned about. Or so she thought. The sounds returned the following night, more insistent this time. The tapping grew louder, more frequent. It seemed to be coming from everywhere. The walls, the ceiling, the floor. Lucy felt a knot of fear tightening in her stomach. This was no ordinary house sound, and then she heard it, a voice, a whisper, barely audible at first, but it was definitely a voice, and it was calling her name. Lucy, it whispered, Lucy. Terrified, Lucy tried to rationalize the sounds. She called a plumber, convinced there was a pipe problem. He found nothing. Next, she brought in an exterminator, suspecting rodents. He found no signs of infestation. The sounds, however, persisted, growing bolder each night. The whispers grew louder, more distinct. Sometimes they seemed to come from the walls, other times from the empty rooms around her. "We're here, Lucy," they hissed. "We're waiting for you." Sleep became impossible. Lucy was haunted by the sounds, the whispers that seemed to slither through the very fabric of the house. Exhaustion gnawed at her, yet fear kept her awake. She wandered the darkened hallways at night, a spectral figure in her own right. One night, as she stood in the hallway, the whispers culminated in a single heart-stopping word, uttered close to her ear. Behind, it breathed. Lucy spun around, her blood running cold. The hallway was empty, but the voice, it had felt so close, as if it were in the very walls themselves. The whispers escalated into soft moans, then chilling screams. The house, once stately and silent, now pulsed with unseen activity. Lucy felt a presence, cold and oppressive, closing in around her. The air grew heavy, making it difficult to breathe. Objects moved on their own. Doors slammed shut. A vase flew across the room, shattering against the wall. The house was coming alive, and it was not a welcoming presence. Lucy knew she had to escape. She ran to the front door, but it wouldn't open. It was as if an unseen force held it shut. She raced from room to room, each door locked, each window bolted shut. Panic seized her. The house had become her prison. The whispers surrounded her, taunting her, their voices a chorus of despair. "There's nowhere to go, Lucy," they hissed. "You're ours now." Driven to a strange calmness by terror, Lucy began to peel back the wallpaper in the hallway. Beneath it she found more names, dozens of them, scratched into the plaster. The names of the people who had lived in the house before her, the people the house had consumed, and then, at the very bottom, scrawled in a shaky hand, Lucy saw a single word that made her blood run cold. Hungry. The house was hungry, and it was her turn to feed its insatiable appetite. The whispers became screams. Ghostly hands, cold and skeletal, reached out from the walls, their icy fingers closing around Lucy's arms, dragging her towards the darkness. Her own scream died in her throat. The house was feeding again. The old house on the hill stood silent once more, its hunger temporarily satiated. But it wouldn't be long before the